This is Suman Butcher for AsianCultureVulture.com. Welcome to Kajol for AsianCultureVulture.com.
Thank
so
you.
Glad to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Fantastic. So we are here to talk about your new film, Helicopter Eela. Tell us a little bit about it.
Helicopter Eela. So she is it's the term basically helicopter mom, where the title comes from. And it's about the overprotective, over-enthusiastic mother, which is, typical of every Indian mother down the centuries and probably will be in future as well. But it's basically a kind of a coming-of-age story for mothers. That, what happens when that title of mom gets old, when your kids get older and you have to find something else in your life besides that, to see who you are besides just a mother. And so yes, Helicopter Eela is a kind of a coming-of-age story about Eela.
Okay, so she's the mom that you play.
Yes.
And it's based on a play, I heard, and so
It's
on?
based on a Gujarati play, actually.
Okay.
But it's been rewritten, of course, refashioned to our, to movie cinematic liberties. We've taken quite a few of them. And so I think that it's a really cool film. My son is being played by the boy called Riddhi Sen, who has just celebrated his 19th birthday with us.
Fantastic.
On set. On the last day of shoot, he's turned 19, so coincidentally. And he's just won a national award recently as well, so for another film of his. And he's one of those really young, brilliant, fabulous actors. So we've had a superb chemistry between us, and there's been so much of fun. We've really had a great time. I've had a wonderful time working with him.
Okay, but did you have to learn Gujarati or the Gujarati inflection? Were you playing like a Gujarati mom?
No.
Or
I'm
like
playing
a Hindi mom?
my character is Eela Raiturkar. So she is a Marathi.
Okay.
She's a Maharashtrian. So I am half Maharashtrian as well. She's very typically Mumbai and from Mumbai. She's a Mumbaiite.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to that, and we'll come back and talk a bit more about the film in a little while. But if I may ask you a couple of other questions generally about your wider work.
Yes, of course.
So, thank you. So, I was reading on IMDb, and it said that you've done 39 films to date, which is quite amazing. However, DDLJ, or Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge, still remains the kind of iconic, it was voted number one in the B5.
Longest running film ever,
etc. I mean, what does
yeah.
it feel to live with that story? And, what's your view on romance?
My view on that film is that DDLJ is a phenomena, which I don't know whether it will ever be repeated again. It's the kind of film that we honestly didn't know what we were doing, and just kind of happened to us. It really happened to us. We did not happen to it. It happened to us. And out of all the things that we have done together as friends and whatever, we just had a great time making the film. And somewhere down the line, I think that everything worked in that film, from the music to the story, to the fact that for the first time the boy was not taking the girl and running away from the father. He waited for the father to give him permission. Small things like that. And I think it's one of those films that everybody feels still closest to. Whether it's Shah Rukh that you ask, or whether it's Adi, or whether it's me, or whether Amrish ji, of course, but whether it's Farida ji for that matter. So all of us were really, it still holds a very, very special place in our hearts.
But talking about that, like you played the romantic love interest and now you're playing the mom. And in terms of your own career graph, how do you feel about an actress? You're very young, playing a mother.
I think being an actor is all about that, being able to play whatever you want. And fortunately, we are at that time in the film industry where we can make a film like Helicopter Eela and still make it a mainstream film. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be niche. It doesn't have to be, art. It doesn't have to be, put onto the side and made on a different budget. It's a film that has been made as a mainstream film and will be released as a mainstream film. And that is all thanks to the fact that, the digital media has changed the audience. The audience have changed their mindset and are willing to watch different kinds of films, make them financially viable, make them economically feasible, and also the fact that they have changed what the genres of films are not strict anymore. They are not only romantic or only a comedy or only an action. We've kind of broken those genres and we are willing to experiment and put it all together differently. It's like a huge big puzzle that had only a specific place for everything to go into, and suddenly you realize that you rearrange them and it still makes a good picture.
So
yeah.
it's kind of reflecting the change in India itself? That
Change in India
single
itself,
mom-
change in the society,
Yeah.
change in the way people think. A film like Helicopter Eela, for that matter, is about today's mother. I mean, this film would not be considered a film probably 20 years back. It would not be considered a different story. It would be like, what's so special about it? But the fact that you're even making a film like Helicopter Eela today means that it is about today's woman. It is about the fact that women today feel that yes, we have to get up and see something else besides being mothers and wives. We can do other things with our lives, and we don't necessarily have to be defined by the tag of a missus or a mom.
But in a way, you are kind of reflective of that sort of space where women can do a lot. I mean, you come from a family of women artists. How do you feel about that? I was just thinking about it. Like, you're like the fourth generation in a line of women who've worked in the Indian film industry. How do you feel it's changed over that time? How do you feel in terms of...
I am very, very proud of that fact that I am part of this family. I think my family is amazing for that matter. And I was always raised with the work ethic. So it didn't matter that, I was not a boy. That was made very, very clear to me that, you're going to start working young and, you will be working all your life, and work is important and you have to earn a paycheck. And it is very important to have your independence. And this was all like just taught by example, more than, shoved down my throat or theoretically told to me. It was a very practical example of what my grandmother, my mother, my aunt, my entire family did, day in and day out. And that's probably who I am, and hopefully that's the same thing that I will pass on to my daughter as well. And I hope that, to my daughter and my son for that matter, not just my daughter, but my daughter and my son, so that even they will have the same thought process. Like I honestly think that this, I hope and pray will be something that will be passed down with my genes. I'd rather that they had this particular thought process about work and about equality, rather than the way whether they matched my nose or my cheekbones.
But you yourself taught in terms of being an actor and so on. Like, you didn't go to a college to learn acting or anything?
No,
like
I
that.
didn't.
Like,
I didn't go to a college.
It.
I was 16 years old, and I joined a college, and I was studying arts over there when I joined the film industry. And at that point of time, I just thought that it was, it was a cool job to have. I mean, it was really a lot of hard work. But I enjoyed myself thoroughly in my first film, and the ball started rolling, and before I knew it, I was working 24/7.
Fantastic. So just a couple of general questions around the industry. I mean, recently a lot of actors from the Bollywood film industry have been invited to join the Oscar Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences because they're looking at diversity. I wondered if you had a comment on that at all.
I think it's great. I think it's great. We are one of the biggest industries of the world who make films, and high time.
Okay, fantastic. And are you still involved in your philanthropic work with young children?
I am. Help a Child Reach 5. I am definitely behind it all the way. It's something that's very close to my heart. It's something that I believe in wholeheartedly. I believe that if something is simple, it does not necessarily mean that it's not effective. If something is cheap, it does not mean that it does not work. And I believe that prevention is better than cure. So if we can teach people that washing your hands is with soap and water 5 times a day is a necessity in today's day and age, and it doesn't require a PhD, it does not require rocket science, it does not even require literacy. It just requires an open mind and a willingness to want a better life, to provide a better life to our children. And India has one of the highest mortality rates of children across the world. And that's something that we need to tackle, because that is 50% of our population.
Okay, well, that's a good campaign, and we really appreciate you being involved in that. But just to finally come back, we're jumping topics, sorry about that. So we're looking forward to the film. It's coming out on the 14th
of September.
Yes, and for our viewers at asianculturevulture.com, what's the best thing that they might enjoy about it?
The best thing that I like about Eela is actually the fact that Eela is highly relatable. She is exactly like your mother, and she is exactly like you would be if you were a mother. It's as simple as that. And like she says, I think there's a lovely line in it where she says, he doesn't know how much he needs me. He just doesn't know how much he needs me. He has not accepted the fact that he needs me in his life, and how much he needs me, and how much he needs me each and every day. So yeah, so that's Eela, and you're going to love her. Trust me. You'll think she's a little mad, but you're going to love her story. You're going to love it.
Well, thank you very much for talking to AsianCultureVulture.com, and we look forward to seeing the film. Thank you.